With training camp finally starting, it seems like there's a whole lot of more news breaking right now, including pictures of Brock Purdy actually working out with the football, but also there's been a recent video that's been circulating by Kai Visuals, and it shows Trey Lance dropping absolute dimes. Previously in this offseason, much has been made of Trey Lance's work with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. In the throwing session, specifically with Patrick Mahomes, Jeff Christensen even spoke about the impact this had for Lance, saying that when he was trying to talk to Lance what he wanted him to do, he could just point at Patrick Mahomes and say, look, this is exactly what I want you to do. And then Trey Lance had that visual buy-in watching the best quarterback in the entire NFL, arguably right now, do it. So here I did the liberty of putting the 2022 and 2023 tape side by side and slowing it down to 2 times speed. What it really shows is Trey Lance's delivery is a lot more compacted. In 2022, it looked like he was almost doing a windmill motion with his arm, but now it looks like more like Jimmy Garoppolo-esque or even Patrick Mahomes-esque. It's a lot tighter. It looks like he's getting like 2 throws off to every 1 last year. It's pretty insane the work Jeff Christensen has done this offseason. But also on the film, it looks like Trey Lance's footwork might be a little cleaned up too, which is something that Kyle Shanahan's actually also mentioned during this offseason. Trey Lance during this offseason has made leaps and bounds as an NFL quarterback. Frankly, his throwing motion is finally looking like it should. Previously, it was really an inconsistent throwing motion that led to plenty of inaccuracies. And while I still had faith in him, many people wrote him off immediately. But thanks to Jeff Christensen, it looks like Trey Lance has finally been able to get rid of some of these demons. But we also need to talk about Trey Lance's finger issue that may have also been causing some of his issues. Trey Lance broke his finger his rookie year, and according to Lance and Kyle Shanahan, it was affecting him a lot. And this is where I actually believe him, because Kyle Shanahan was using Trey Lance like he didn't necessarily trust him fully in the passing game, which makes sense if your quarterback has a broken finger. And well, interesting enough, this has actually been Trey Lance's first full offseason he's been healthy in the NFL. So you're actually seeing the leaps and bounds you often see in a year 2 player. So with these improvements we've seen from Trey Lance this offseason, the major question then becomes, what can we exactly expect for the Niners quarterback position and quarterback battle going forward into training camp? And well, right now, Trey Lance is looking great. And he kind of is reminding me of when Patrick Mahomes came out and had that huge breakout year his second year. And right now, arguably, Trey Lance is in the perfect situation. While Brock Purdy is making progress towards his rehab, many people don't expect him to be a full participant when media availability begins tomorrow during practice. Rather, him coming on the scene later in the year, possibly right before week 1. This leaves Trey Lance open for competition with Sam Darnold. And while Darnold is also a former 3 overall pick, I would argue Lance is the better quarterback. He has better processing and he has a cannon for the arm, and the Niners actually picked Lance over Darnold and gave up a ton to get him. Ultimately, if Trey Lance does receive the opportunity to start this year, I do think he's going to prove a lot of his haters wrong. I mean, he has the physical tool set to be extremely effective in the NFL, and also has that mental makeup and character drive you want in your quarterback. It seems like Trey Lance truly wants to be a great quarterback, and that's evident by the way he's reworked his entire throwing motion. I mean, he's looking like a different quarterback, and I'm excited to see the competition between Lance and Darnold, and possibly Lance and Purdy when he arrives on the scene. So it looks like Trey Lance's work this offseason is paying off. Whether it be with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Jeff Christensen, he is getting better. And it wouldn't surprise me if he frankly broke the NFL this year. Ultimately, these are just my thoughts on Trey Lance and this new video that's arrived, and I would appreciate hearing your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you liked and subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching.